Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for stopping by the live stream again today. Shout out to the NTZ crew. Jacob Tanjay, appreciate you, brother. All my fourth quarter members, I hope y'all enjoyed that live stream yesterday. I better go back and watch it, man. I always get a lot of good ideas out of those live streams. What's up, I Love LaChan? I know, Raymond, you're headed to that beautiful place. Send me some film, man. I want to check that out. All my old heads, there's Doubtful Genius, there's Q in the Philippines. He said, Happy New Year, Unc. He said, hope you got a chance to light some fireworks with the family. I didn't. I let Merlin handle that. I don't fool with them fireworks. He said, also, I love the table video. As guys got to go back to the basics and play the game the right way. My money, my rules, he says. Oh, okay. I hear you. What's up, Michael Alexander? Appreciate you stopping by. Any new viewers and subscribers? Plenty of y'all out there. I really appreciate YouTube letting me out of YouTube jail, because I'm seeing all my old videos popping up on my feed. That wasn't happening, guys. Something was going on. Okay? Now, I don't know what it was. You know, you see a lot of people making videos and they're taking flack for it, but they're telling the truth, guys. Something's going on. The algorithm doesn't stay the same. It changes. It used to be, all you had to do was put Philippines in the title, man. You got 25,000 views. And now you're liable to get 1,000 or 2,000. So yeah, it changes. Anybody catching this on replay? What's up, Kamal? Hey, Sam, when you headed back this way, Life Without Limits, that's a new channel. Life Without Limits Worldwide. I know you're supposed to be coming to the Philippines soon. But the peso is 58.81. Yeah, the new year is over. You know, we have a title. It's called Doing the Same Things in Relationships Overseas and Expecting Different Results is Insanity. This vlog is really not about women. It's really about us. It's really about, you know, it's a new year. Are you going to be a new you, or are you going to be the old you? It's about getting better, man. It's really what it's about. But I got this title because I looked up something. I was looking up something for a whole different video. I was like, well, you know, what do men complain about in the West about marriage and relationships, man? And what came up, it shocked me. I said, well, this is the same thing we're getting over here. We're jumping from the frying pan to the fire, and we're going to get into this, guys. You're going to be shocked at what I found, man. But the first thing I got on here is, could you be the problem? See, this is what we're talking about. Could you be the problem? And no matter how good the circumstances are, you will eventually mess it up. What's up, Jews? But what I found out was, you know, the same things we push back against in relationships at home, we freely embrace over here. I'm shocked. I'm like, well, the woman's just younger. Okay, I'm going to say that this is just my opinion. I'm not just talking about the Philippines. I'm talking because we're not just coming to the Philippines. We're going to all these places overseas, abroad. All it is just a wolf in sheep's clothing, man. When you peel everything back, she's still a woman. And she still got woman problems. And we keep looking for something outside of us to fix us. What's one of the oldest lessons they tell you? Know thyself. What did I say about that over here? Yeah, it says, This is about men. And you can't learn a whole lot about yourself listening to women. Certainly these Filipino vloggers over here. Because they're always going to give you the woman's perspective. And they don't know what it's like to be a man. Certainly a man who's paid his dues, you're retired. They don't know what that's like. They're always going to err on the side of caution, for women. So don't fall into that. But, you got to look within. This is what I'm saying. So before we even get into that, let's talk about the video I did yesterday about the table, which I changed the title. But one thing that men have in common that come over here to the Philippines is we suffer from low self-esteem. You're not going to admit it, but you do. All you got to do is watch these videos. Come over here and see these couples. Go on Facebook. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I probably learned more from watching these couples on Facebook than I did from my own experiences, believe it or not. But that's the number one thing we have in common. We want the easier, softer way. What did the guy say? The path of least resistance. We're looking for that outside validation. Low self-esteem is just a negative evaluation of yourself. You don't even think you're worthy. You're looking to be scammed when you get over here. You're looking for shit to go wrong over here because it always goes wrong for you. So this vlog is really about being better, man. Being stronger. Like a human magnet for real. We don't want to hear about all those old resolutions you got piled up, stacked up to the ceiling by now. I'm going to tell you to get one singular goal and put everything behind that. And the laws of the universe say that it cannot not happen. Okay? But what we want to do, we want to have all this stuff over here, all my New Year's resolutions, right? And some of us, our goals are so good that we didn't get to finish it in 2025, so we carrying it over into 2026. But have one goal, man, put everything behind that. All your money, all your effort, all your energy and everything. If you want to lose weight, just say I want to lose 20 pounds. Don't say I want to lose weight. Be specific with it. But that's what this video is about, because you're going to be shocked when I finally get to it. But if knowing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than what you really want, if people call you arrogant, if that offends people and all that, so be it, man. So be it. But we got to get rid of that low self-esteem, man. You got to look in the mirror, man, and say, I love myself for who I am. Look how far you come. We're listening to the detractors. What's up, Harry Shoulders? What's up, Frank? Yeah, he said she ain't taking my money, coach. Yeah, because you're going to give it to her. Okay, you're spending a lot of money just to come over here. Come on, guys. Let's get honest today. Okay? But here's some of the things, and I'm going to kind of go back and forth from my list of stuff I wrote down to the list of the experts. But, doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results is insanity, right? This is what we say. So I put it in there. What are the complaints men have about marriage and relationships in the West? The number one thing that came up was gender roles and expectations. It says men feel constrained by traditional gender roles that expect them to be primary breadwinners or protectors. Now, we're running over here wanting a traditional woman. Remember, I said you're not a traditional man. You're running from that traditional role that they try to slap on you over there. as the primary breadwinner. But guess what you're going to be when you get over here? The primary breadwinner and protector. See, you're doing the same thing over here that you're running from over there, thinking it's going to be different. The only thing different is she got a different face. She's younger. But remember, she's a wolf in sheep's clothing. When you peel all that back, she's still a woman. But you could be the problem. Remember, you could be the problem. And no matter what you find over here, you're going to mess it up. But that's the first thing, man, and it really jumped out at me. But that's the first thing they have on the list. The second thing is communication issues. Okay, now, it says men in the West feel that their partners do not listen or understand their needs. Imagine if she don't listen to you at home and understand your needs at home. Do you think, what you going to think you're going to find over here? You don't even speak the same language. She's twice you're twice her age. Okay? You're jumping from the frying pan into the fire, guys, but you don't look at it like that. Okay, just the first two done broke your back already. He said, I've been seeing a lot of your older offerings showing up whenever I'm on. Yeah, because YouTube has let me out of jail. I was in jail, man. My videos were only going to my subscribers. Okay. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. But imagine that you're thinking, you're coming over here with a woman, dating a woman that you have nothing in common with. She's from a whole different culture. But you expect her to understand you better than the woman that you got everything in common with at home and listen to you. What did I say yesterday on the on the members only video? When Confident Voice Speaks said, man, my woman thinks I don't know nothing over here. And I said, that's going to happen to all of y'all. They're not listening to you when you get over here. This next one's going to hurt your ego. What's up, Jamaican Toast? He said, yeah, for the lost man searching in the world getting colder. That's some powerful words, man, but I can't take credit for that. Blizzard Abroad, and I think he's live right now. He created that for me. He's like, man, he said, I got a song for you. This would have been my third or fourth song somebody made for me. So I'm like, oh, okay, send it to me. I'll listen to it. Man, that's a million seller, okay? If we put that out there with the music that's online today, and remember a couple of weeks ago, the number one track on the Hot 100 country was an AI-generated country song. Ain't no music out there, man. But Blizzard Abroad created that, man. It's powerful. But financial pressures, it said. Financial pressures. It said the financial demands of marriage, including costs related to weddings, housing, raising children, can create stress. Because remember, you're paying for everything all the time, every day here. But you're running away from that over there. The financial pressures. Man, you're jumping from the frying pan to the fire, guys. I'm sorry. Okay? Financial pressures. Ain't that something, man? But you thinking you're coming over here, you're finding something totally different, man. The reason why a lot of these relationships work over here, because she needs you just as bad as you need her. All this stuff I'm going to talk about today, we throw it out the window. We're involved in these yes relationships. As long as you say yes, I'm going to say yes. You know. What's up, Don? He said, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of your old videos pop up. Yeah, YouTube's let me out, man. I'm not playing. Y'all thought I was joking. But something was going on. He said, I love your background. Yeah, this is just the other side. And I found out that I got better lighting and everything when I turned my computer around. Well, it don't matter what you tell her, just Jay Rich. You got a lot to say on this live stream, man. We gotta have to watch you, okay? Because you're talking crazy. You got to pay to get over here. But we're talking about you thinking you're coming over here. We really need to separate the Philippines from the Filipinas, man, because you ain't getting nothing different for real. Okay, and people say, "Oh, they're so cooperative." Hell, they're all cooperative in the beginning. You're cooperative in the beginning. Okay, we're all cooperative in the beginning. They call that a honeymoon period. Okay, and remember when you see relationships like mine and other relationships that you see online and everything, we put on this Facebook persona that it's all every day is good. It's strawberries and cream. You never see anything negative. People never post anything negative about themselves. If they post anything negative on Facebook, it's always something that happened to somebody else. Somebody's child got shot. And what's going on over in America right now? Okay, they always say, "Well, Cal, you've been gone, you lost touch." I ain't been gone that long, man. Gun violence is crazy, man. I just read where an 11-year-old boy was shot and killed on a playground in Cincinnati. But yeah, if you think you have financial pressure over there, wait till you get here. Okay, wait till you get here. But remember, we could be the problem. Maybe we need to fix ourselves. Okay, before we go and running all around the planet trying to fix somebody else, you know. But that kind of brings me to something I want to bring up real quick before I forget. You know, these clowns out here making all these videos about the passport bros. Well, who are you talking about? Y'all need to start getting specific. Okay, you know, who are you talking about when you say passport bros? It's black men. They've labeled us, any black men, no matter what your college education, your financial situation, they label us passport bros. And guess what? And then they only highlight the extreme cases of black men crashing out overseas, and they lump us all in, okay, to that basket. They just ignore all the positive black men traveling, which is the overwhelming majority. Okay, and guess what? White men aren't making videos putting down passport bros. It's you black Negroes out there. I call you Negroes that's doing that, trying to gain clicks and views on our backs. You miserable. You want us to come over there because you in a miserable relationship and marriage. Oh, date these black women or date these toxic women over there because you miserable. Misery loves company. But I'm going to say, you know, I'm a passport bro. But I've got more accomplished than what you got over there. I'm not going to run away from it, that title. I'm not going to let them take that over. The man who brought that up, you know, Aaron Ferris and all those guys, really Charles Tyler and all those guys saying, hey, man, get out here and see what your options are. It's not all negative. It's not all negative, man. And that's what they're trying to make it. They want people to be afraid of you. Bullshit. We got to take that narrative back. There ain't nothing to be afraid of. Okay? I'm sorry. But it's all these old Negroes. Y'all know who y'all are making these videos out there. Like we can't even get out of our own way. You know what I'm saying? Now the Negroes, okay, that's the term 2026 for these old sellouts out there. You know, not realizing you a black man, fool. But we always want to turn on ourselves. I just wanted to get that off my chest, man, because that's one thing that's going on. They're going to show people like Floyd Wallace and try to convince the world in every video that we're all Floyd Wallace. I made that video already. We got to flip that script. See, they're trying to make it in everybody's eyes that we're all Floyd Wallace. That's bullshit. No, we're not. Okay, we're not taking advantage of anybody and all that stuff. We're not degenerate, okay, black men traveling for sex and all that old crazy stuff, right? That's all I'm saying. He said, yeah, that new theme song is fire. Yeah, Blizzard made that, man. He said he's determined, well, you're going to be left out in the cold, brother. You're going to be left out in the cold. You're going to be left so far behind that you ain't even going to see who's in front of you. But I hear you. I hear you. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but you're going to be left so far behind. He says, it's like you got a blue screen behind you. Yes, because I got blue curtains up. If I open it up even more, yeah, they can't handle the truth, man. You know. But it just makes me mad. I don't want to fight back against brothers. But they're the only ones making this bullshit ass content out here, man. Find something else. You know who you talking about when you put Passport Bro in your title? Okay? We already know who you're talking about. You're talking about us. I'm pushing back against it. There's brothers over here, man, doing all kind of remarkable things that you cocksuckers won't talk about. You're going to keep focused on the negative stuff. Yeah. I wanted him to make a video and show y'all. I didn't want to tell you. He said, Brother K is in Thailand. And y'all keep picking on this stuff. You know, anytime they see a black man overseas, it's something negative. They don't give you no context. They don't know you. But it's negative. What's he doing over there? Because I can travel. I've got the money. I got the resources. I've got the means. All right? I'm sorry. It's pissing me off, man. Yeah, I'm proud of it because, you know, we need to take that back. He said, man, you hitting the nail on the head. They hate the fact we recognize our options and refuse to be stuck in the same trap they in. That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. They don't need the Ku Klux Klan. We don't need MAGA. We got them cocksuckers. You know, they'll do anything for a damn dollar. Okay? He said, I think we need to let everyone know that what black American people have invented in America so people can see what we can do. And if it was not for black Americans, people, the world, we would not have nothing. Well, we've already proven that. We don't have anything to prove. But when people just intentionally go out there to try to drag you down, you know, a guy messaged me the other day. He said, yeah, I was over my sister-in-law's house and I seen a couple of passport bros in the neighborhood. I'm like, dude, what made you call them passport bros? Meaning, you know, what is it that makes you say they were passport bros? Because they were brothers? Yeah, they acting like crabs in a barrel, man. Leave that alone. Stay focused on the people who are crashing out. A tiny. It's not even enough to be on the radar when you compare it to all the black men who are traveling around the world, living abroad, doing great things, by the way. We came here to escape that scrutiny. Now y'all trying to follow us with that stuff. I'm not going to take it. But y'all need to start putting a name on that. You can't label us all passport bros. It reminds me of the 80s, man, when, you know, the crack epidemic. Every black man was a crackhead or a crack addict or a crack dealer. You couldn't drive there. If you was a successful black man and driving in a nice car and a suit It happened to me in 2004. The SWAT ran up in my house, okay, thinking I'm selling drugs. They in such a hurry to bust the guys, they wrote down the wrong address. Fool, I don't even have a police record. But this is what they're trying to do with the passport bros. But it's black men doing it. That's what pisses me off. You bunch of soft-ass fools. Come on, be from behind the damn screen with that bullshit, man. Y'all punks. You're going to be just like Andrew Tate. Get your hair beat in. Hey, thank you, Larry. He said, Brandon says, yeah, they're trying to use Floyd's situation to make us brothers who travel look bad. Yeah, just want some clicks and views. He said, much love from a young man in Atlanta. You made me visit the Philippines. Man, I appreciate it, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. They're going to look and try to find something bad about you. He's an outlier, man. He's a damn outlier. But I made a video about people like him. I just said stay at home. You shouldn't even be traveling overseas. You can't handle what's going on over here. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Go back, I was in Rizal Park in Manila when I made the video. I know what I'm talking about, man. I can look around. It's people who don't need to be traveling like that, man. He walked right into a damn sting. You don't know what's going on 8,000 miles away. Settle your ass down. You ain't running nothing over here. But to say that all black men are like that, and we underachievers, and we can't win at home, fool, you better look up my record. You better ask somebody. I won it there. Okay? And winning in America ain't nothing. If you can't win in America, you can't win nowhere. The bar's been lowered. It's so low now. Okay? Anybody can make it over there. They knocking on your door to give you jobs. Everything that you could possibly need is done for you over there. Come out here and see if you can make it. You can't do it. But let's get back to the thing. I just wanted to say that, man, because it's all coming up, man. They keep on saying passport bros. Put a name on that, man. Oh, yeah, well, good. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Okay? That's why I like the Philippines. Y'all can have all that fancy infrastructure and all this and all that, right? But you're welcome here. The Philippines ain't trying to get rid of tourists and doing immigration raids and all this stuff like the United States, like Canada, like Thailand, all those places. They leave you alone over here. What more could you ask for? No. I had to get over here to begin with. I was a passport bro long before I was an expat. I was traveling overseas since 1981. But what I'm saying is, if they're going to try to make everything negative about the passport bro, I'm telling you that nothing's 100% of anything. I just did a DNA test for Booby. They came back 99.9999. Fuck out of here with that. But nothing's 100%. There's nothing 100% negative. As a matter of fact, they're only going to highlight the negative stuff. What about people like you, W Secret to Success? You live in $1 million house, man. You would be considered a passport bro. But you say you're not because we've let these cocksuckers take over the narrative to make it seem like it's a negative thing. It's not a negative thing. Travel is an education. I encourage anybody to travel. Okay? Yeah, this is what I'm saying. And then not only that, they want to put a negative connotation on top of it. Like we less than. Looks over there with them old miserable ass, toxic ass women. And because you don't want to settle for that, they're going to come for you. And I guess we're all Floyd Wallace's. Yeah, I made that video. That's what they're trying to do. Bullshit. He said, most black dudes I meet overseas are not gangsters or hood at all. Most black dudes I meet are cool dudes. Most are looking for an affordable country to retire in and a good wife. Yeah, we're trying to escape the scrutiny. I didn't feel welcome at home. That's why I'm still here. Okay, because I feel welcome here. But don't be putting all that negative stuff. Certainly you don't even know me. They just start lying and creating stuff about you just to fit their narrative. Oh, we're irresponsible. We don't want to raise our kids and this and that. We're running from the law. We got to push back against that, guys. We can't let them continue to sully that name, because what they're really saying is black men. Okay, when you hear passport bro, you see a black man. You don't see a white man. You don't see Chinese. You don't see a Latino. Okay, I did the video. It's passport bro, the new N word. Okay, I did it for my members only. I tried to share it with my audience, but you fools, it went over your head. You just simply reacting off the title. That's what it's become. They're trying to make it become, they're trying to make the word mean nigga. I'm not going to let them. That's not what it means. Okay? But that's what they're trying to make it mean, guys. And y'all sitting around not doing anything about it. I push back about it. Because they hate us, man. They hate themselves. It's self-hate. You were taught to hate your nose and your lips and all that stuff, your skin color and all that stuff. And that's all they're doing, replicating that. But when you get out here and you see a whole different thing. See, when I joined the Navy, man, I started traveling around the world. The Navy took me around the world. All that was thrown out the window. Okay? I'm just saying. Well, it doesn't matter. It's the difference between a sugar daddy and a passport bro. Ain't nothing wrong with sugar daddies. He said, Uncle, let's be real. Most older brothers over there are sugar daddies. Okay, what's wrong with that? Okay, my uncle's around your age. He proudly paying for a cat like the dude Nate with Jada in the movie said. Yeah, okay. So what's wrong with that? He said, I guess my travel plan to Somalia account. So yeah. Yeah, getting your passport is liberating. You know, see, I never used to listen to Aaron Ferris for real. But here lately, when I see him defending that passport, man, he makes a lot of sense, man. He's going all in. He was like, look, man, we can't allow these fools, you know, to define the passport bro movement. And that's what they're trying to do. It's not, it needs to be more videos out there like that, man. That's all I'm saying. That's what they're trying to do. That's another reason I'm over here, freedom. Okay, believe it or not, Thomas, that's the next thing on the list. Okay, we push back against marriage and relationships over there because we complain about losing our personal freedom or autonomy after marriage or a committed relationship. Okay, feeling they have to compromise more than they did while single. Well, when you come over here, they're going to be on you like white on rice. Okay, clingy goes to a whole other level. I don't know if control is something that all women have an issue with. Okay, but you certainly walk straight into a headlock over here. You ain't going nowhere without her. Okay, this is the crazy thing. We really think that we're coming over here. Instead of just coming over here and finding yourself, we're trying to find a woman. We're trying to find somebody that's going to change us and make us better. Well, the only person that can do that is the person looking at you in the mirror. Okay, travel for you. The minute you decide to travel for somebody else, you've lost. The game is over, man. You're just going through the motions because it's just going to be the same thing over here as it is in your country. This is what the experts are saying. Tell me if I'm wrong. The first one was the gender roles. We feel constrained by the roles, the traditional role they assigned to you over there, okay, as the, what's it say, primary breadwinner and protector. Well, guess what you're going to be when you get over here? Same damn thing. Communication issues, right. Men feel that all the woman that they're with or their wife is not listening to them and doesn't understand them. If you think that the woman over there doesn't understand you and listen to you, what makes you think that the woman over here is going to listen to you and understand you? She's half your age. You don't have anything in common. Financial pressures. What we're running from over there. Okay? The financial demands of marriage, including costs related to weddings, housing, and raising children, can create stress. Okay. And then you come here where you pay for everything, every day, all the time, no matter what. But you're trying to escape financial pressure over there. You see where I'm getting at, guys? And the fourth one was loss of independence. We're going to keep going. But I want you to know that doing the same thing over and over again in relationships, expecting different results, that's insanity. It's insane for you to come over here for anything other than yourself. Travel anywhere other than for yourself. Hey, brother Eddie Ray, thanks for that super chat. He said, what's wrong with international tricking? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. In most cases, we've talked about this. The places that you're going to, brother Eddie Ray, it's not even a crime. And it may be a crime on the books, but they don't enforce it. Okay? Go to Walking Street. Do you see the police could sit there on Walking Street and arrest people all day long if they wanted to? Or Soy 6. Or Tijuana, or any of those other places. In Rio and Cartagena, Colombia, and all those places. But they turn a blind eye to it. It's too much money involved. Okay? But they're trying to push their morals and values on you. I don't want those. Yours are stained. They're fake. Okay? And they don't even come from you. They come from somewhere else. I don't want your morals and values. Because you're miserable over there. That's all I'm saying. But this is what we have to do, though. LLNYRN. Because you're telling the exact truth. Back in 2013, man, I got facts. I called it, I did a program. It was called Resurrection, Black Man Stand Up. Meaning we were recognizing just regular, ordinary black men around the community who go to work every day, who take care of their children, who have no criminal records. Okay? And we were just recognizing them. We were trying to take control of the image. Okay? And the narrative surrounding black men. I've been on that mission, man, really since I understood what was going on. But you're exactly right. He says when it comes to the black male image, we as black men don't control the worldwide narrative. But that doesn't mean we can't keep fighting against it. Is that for you to just say, oh, well, what's the point? Okay? A lot of us don't want to admit this and feel we can act a fool any and everywhere. Well, some people feel that way. I don't. I've been fighting against it. That's the reason why black men can come to St. Carlos City right now and be treated on a level playing field. They ain't got all those crazy stereotypes about them because I've been standing tall over here for 7 years. Okay? That's why. That's how you fight that. Okay? They're not going to look at you all crazy now if you come to San Carlos City. Because Sunshine Shoulders is here. And he's been here. And he's been at his post for 7 years. That's what you should be doing. Don't throw your hands up and say, oh, I can't do anything about it. Everybody knows it's a lie. But they'll take the one tiny percent that's not even on the radar and label all black men with that. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. You know, when you see people like Richie Rich, he's on here, see? Any of us. Absolutely. So much positive about that passport bro thing, but we didn't act quick enough. We let the detractors steal the narrative. That's what we've done. Hey, thank you, brother Eddie Ray, for that super chat. He said, so, by definition, it's called a 304 tourist. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. They're not going to lock you up for that. Remember, you're on vacation. You don't have to get married. It's just a transaction. But they want to throw their morals and values on you. Meanwhile, they're cheating on their taxes. They're driving drunk, driving impaired, speeding, doing all kinds of stuff, changing price tags when they go in the store. It's called stealing. But because you travel overseas, okay, to basically do what they're doing at home, you're immoral all of a sudden. You're less than. Bullshit. Yeah, I saw that. They, as a matter of fact, if you're on Social Security, I would open up a Social Security account online, through the government. I did mine through the IRS, but all you have to do is open up one and you're there for everybody. I check my Social Security. They don't mail anything to me. They give it to me all online. I can't worry about something getting lost in the mail. And they told me what my COLA was, my cost of living. I got about $48. So that's what I'm saying. So my sons are going to get an increase. Once Booby gets her benefit, by the time Booby gets 18, man, there's no telling how much money she's going to be earning. Okay? Hey, thank you, Young Fresh Global Travel. Thanks for that super chat. He said, shout out to all the positive passport bros. Yeah, which is the majority of us. The overwhelming majority. Okay? But they want to, they're Deacon Clap Cheeks. That's who they are. They do their shit in the dark and try to expose the shit you're doing. Knowing good and well y'all rotten to the core. That's all I'm saying. Makes me mad, man, when I see that stuff, man. Why do they need the Ku Klux Klan? Why do they need MAGA when they got them clowns out there? They're going to save the race. You ain't doing nothing, man, but getting clicks and views on YouTube. That's all. But we're not even pushing them back against it. Hey, what's up? He said, my brother, I'm starting Vacation Fit. This is what this really is about, guys. It's not even about a woman or anything. It's about you and becoming better, becoming stronger, man. You don't need somebody to fix you. You can fix you. All them old New Year's resolution list, laundry list of shit you got, just throw it away, man. Put one thing on that list and then start walking toward that. Start with where you are with what you have, knowing it's enough, guys. I've done it over and over and over. Okay? I'm looking at a 739 credit score. Do you realize my goal is to get all the way, to go to the top, whether it's 800 or 850, whatever it is. I've never had a 739, man. But it's about becoming better, man. Yeah, but see, there's no reason for us to be in secret. Certainly not now, because they've labeled you as this degenerate black man who's traveling for sex. You can't be like Paragraphics the other day. He said, man, I'm really trying to, upgrade my scuba diving certification. It was him or was it Sakaria or D Styles? Somebody said that. But no, you coming over here to the DR and all those places trying to blow somebody's back out. No, and it's none of your business. Stop pocket watching. I'm 62. Whatever I got, I earned it. Okay, don't be watching my pocket. Don't watch my pocket, man. It's none of your business. Okay? Period. None of your damn business. Be asking me. See, they think they can just come on here and ask you anything. Show me your paycheck, fool. You ain't gonna do it. But you're gonna ask me. Get off here with that foolishness. You ain't got no need to know that. He said, if we want to do something about it, we must start with our home. Yeah, then next, our own communities. We've been taught so much self-hate and destruction that's going to take some generations to heal. Yeah, but start now. Just like I said with that goal, knowing that what you have is good enough, man. Start now with what you have, okay? I'm sorry, guys. The reason I say have one singular focus, because all the experts say it. The saying is, keep your eye on the prize, not the prizes. You got to stay focused on that one goal and put everything back of it, man. You cannot not succeed. Then you're going to have all the laws of the universe working on your behalf. But you think it's spooky. You think, Cal, you're crazy. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't true. When I started studying that stuff, man, I was swept off to a level of success I never even dreamed about. Okay? Now you're talking about something that I, love. That's self-help. Okay? I was in a new dimension, man. So I living a life better than the best I ever known. I walked out of the crack house into the penthouse of life. Okay? People walked past me, didn't even recognize me, went to school with me my whole life. I earned over $200,000 2 years in a row with no high school. I mean, with a high school education, no 1 year of college. Well, one semester, let me be honest. Okay? Don't tell me what a clear focus can do for you, because I already know already. He said, damn, actor Will Smith is facing new allegations in a lawsuit filed by Brian King Joseph, a touring musician who claims he was sexually harassed while working on Smith's live tour. Yeah. I'm going to leave that alone. I'll let the courts deal with that. It's too much of that trying people on YouTube and in the press. He says, it's a sad day. I just got back to the U.S. after spending the holidays with my wife and kids. Back to the grind, yeah. Back to the old hamster wheel. I felt that way so many times. I didn't just come over here in 2018 and retire. I started coming here in 2009 all the way to 2018. I already knew. I was like, okay, that's where I'm going to retire eventually. Never been in trouble here. Okay? Put that in your pipe and smoke it, passport haters, passport bro haters. Never been in any trouble here. Yeah, they weak, man. People do anything for money, man. It's like when the guy says Andrew Tate got the shit beat out of him, right? He got humbled. Oh, yeah, but he got the bag. Like, that's all that matters. If you got money, that's all you need. You can't eat money. Yeah, yeah. I've got the highest score I've ever had in my life. I'm 62. But I'm going to keep going. Okay? He said, oh, my Sparkle score's in the low 700s. See, that's what I'm talking about. But they don't talk about the other things like that we travel for. Like the young guy, Young Fresh Global Travel says. Financial security, and a good relationship. He said, hey, how can I get a copy of the intro song? It's on my channel. It's called Put Some Respect on His Name, Sunshine Shoulders. I just made a video, which is a bunch of pictures, clips, for the whole song, though. Blizzard Brown showed out, man, on that song. He said, I finally got into the 800 club after being as low as 505 in the past. See, this is what we need to be talking about. We need to trumpet people like you, not Floyd Wallace. I mean, you make your bed, you got to lie in it, guys. Everybody knows that. I'm not absolving him of anything. I'm certainly not convicting him of anything. But you have to understand that you're in a whole different country. You're not at home. We don't even know the rules when we come to these places. We just hop on a plane and come over here and start acting like we're at home. Some of us do. But they're not going to give you credit, see? They're not going to give you credit for that. They'll start going way back in my past to try to drum up some stuff about me. This is how you know they're haters, man. They won't give you credit. They'll go way back, and then they can't find anything. They'll start lying. Oh, he deserted his kids. He left his wife. This and that, right? Like they're Jesus. Or the so-called Jesus. He said, I'm here for scuba diving and infrastructure. He said, to hell with the beautiful women. Yeah, right. But you're not getting any trouble. Look how long you've been here, right? Not a peep. Not a peep. But they want everybody to think that black men, you see a black man, you got to run the other way. These are black men saying this. They don't want you to travel. Or if they do, they want you to travel like they travel with your whole family and everybody, the mother-in-law and all that, thinking that makes them better. You a damn fool. You got that money, do it like that, but we don't have to live like you. Yeah, I'm not angry, man. And you keep it up, I'm gonna get you off my channel because we don't have time for immature men like you. See, I'm not gonna label every man for your ignorant behavior. You are gonna pay the consequences. You don't know me. Don't mistake my passion for anger. And then who gives a damn what you think? You don't pay my bills. I never meet you. The people who meet me know I'm a winner. Okay? That I set the example over here. Okay? For a lot of people. Okay? I blazed the path. What have you done? You on my live stream. He said, man, there must have been a hell of a babies born because there's not an available appointment for that CRBA not until the end of February. Well, take that. Now, where are you going, Q? Because you can usually there's one open in Manila, but you got to get in where you fit in. Take that. Because it's not going to take you but what? You're going to sit and wait for your number to be called for 25 minutes. Then you're going to be in there for 5 minutes. Then you're going to be out of there. So go ahead and make that appointment. That way you can make sure you got all your ducks in a row. Pictures of you and her before she was pregnant, during her pregnancy, after she had the baby, Make sure you done signed the birth certificate. You got the PSA, NSO birth certificate, all her prenatal records, the ultrasound pictures. You're in there, dude. Okay, I did it twice before. I don't have to, I'm just telling you, I never had to do the DNA until this time. But now that it's back, I do like this to them because the lady, she didn't realize, man, Booby was born during the lockdowns. And that's exactly what the Filipino nurse said when we went in to take the DNA. See, they know it made a difference. But the lady at the embassy didn't think it made a difference. You couldn't go anywhere. He said, Cal, I've been watching you for some time. He said, your content videos are nothing but truth. Your content is authentic. And anyone who's true to themselves would admit you speak nothing but the truth. Yeah, I'm just, because I know that I can't pull one over on you guys. Who said this? You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool everybody all the time or something. Or everybody all the time. Whatever it is. You know what I'm saying. Most of these channels that you're watching, the ones who gained traction over here, they became popular during the pandemic, during the lockdowns, when nobody could travel. I already knew, I said, eventually this thing's going to open up. Why do I want to lie to guys? Okay, because your reputation is all you got. That's all I got. I knew eventually you were going to come over here, so I kept the focus on me. I was really just telling you what I was going through, what I was seeing, living, and experiencing. It may have an old silly topic, but it's really my story. He says, I've been here teaching my Filipino family finance and banking, teaching what percentage they should be saving to be able to make investments. That is really helping people. It is. It is. You can't just keep pouring money into these relationships because there's a hole in the boat, okay? There's a leak, man. But if you do something like this that has long-lasting effects, yeah, well, he needs to chill out. He needs to chill out. He don't know me. Yeah, well, see, most of us are retired, John Augustus. We're not even talking about opening up a business or investing. A lot of people invested in the peso. And right now, they're losing, but eventually that thing's going to turn. But if you can do something, this is the way I look at business overseas, certainly in the Philippines. If you can do something or offer something that Filipinos can't offer, then why not? Okay, otherwise, man, you're fighting up a slippery slope. And they don't look too kindly on you opening up brick and mortar businesses. You're literally taking food out of their mouth. But if you can offer something that they can't offer, or you can do something they can't do, then why not? Okay, the thing about it is having a good business plan. Most people who come over here try to start a business with no business plan. It sounds like a good idea. The piggery, the laundry, the sorry store, the massage place. But you have no business plan. You plan on the seat of your pants, it's not going to work, man. Because most of them have no business experience. But if I were you and I was hell-bent on starting a business, I would do something like Airbnb. Or I would sublease some real estate. Okay, I would go to places where only tourists go now, like Cebu, Manila, the places like that. And I would do Airbnb. I'd rent a condo because you can go on Airbnb and rent for the whole month and get a better rate. And then you just, you rent that same apartment out. Or rent an apartment. which, either way, but it has to be in a tourist-friendly place where they can't see you. Nobody can see you. I've never met an owner of one of these condos. It's always the host, the worker. You're behind the scenes. That would be the only thing I would even try to do. Everything else, man, you're dealing with pesos over here. So the peso is 58.81. So for every dollar you invest, you got to get 58.81 pesos back. Sometimes it's slow, man. It's too much to know over here. You would have to come over here, just like on a regular business plan, if you've ever written a business plan before. They'll tell you to shadow your competition. That's one of the things a good business plan will do. It will shadow your competition. Who's going to be your competition? So you shadow them and you see how they're earning their money, how much money they're earning, how they do business and everything like that. But we're too much in a hurry over here. Yeah, take that cue, because that'll be here before you know it. That's all I'm saying. He said, yeah, don't do it. Exactly. Because you can't beat them at their own game. You just can't do it. And there's so many people that there's so many examples, man, of people who tried, ladies and gentlemen, that, like he said, is really the end of the conversation. Okay, ask Jim, Asian Adventures, that nice sorry store. He basically built the 7-Eleven from the ground up. Spent all that money, didn't make a peso. They went right next to the little rundown place that they used to buy from to help, because Filipinos will spend money with themselves. I keep forgetting to look up how long that peso stays in their neighborhood or their community. A long time, okay? He's out front every day. He wants people to know, I'm the owner. Well, that's a death knell right there. They already think you rich. And then they're looking at you like, yeah, you got the nerve to come over here, and open up a place. And then you see little Maria's got a place right here. You're trying to take money from her. People don't think too kindly of that, John, is what I'm trying to tell you. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay? What's up? He says, what's up, Brother Cal? Just got done watching a documentary on Katrina on Netflix. Pretty powerful, must see. Now, is that something new? Well, I never said you didn't know anything. I'm just saying that you don't need to be talking crazy on here. If you do, then tell us something that you know. Add something to the conversation. Don't pocket watch me and all that stuff and call me an angry man and all that stuff. You're saying something totally different than what you're saying. I don't give a damn how long you've been here. You ain't got no business doing that. I don't know you. I haven't called you one name but a pocket watcher. You know good and well you ain't got no business asking me where I get my money from, where I earn my money. He said, I give it to you, brother, being black over there. You're a good man, strong man, coming out there. He said, coming out there, soon like to meet my friend. Didn't get where you came from. I'm in LA. I grew up with every race. Yeah, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I was born in Lexington, Kentucky. Grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. And it's people who came here long before me. But, I can only control what I can control. The man who's coming behind me, I want to set the example for the man and woman who's coming behind me. No matter if they're black, white, if they're American, okay, because they lump us all in one basket. But certainly when it comes to these old passport bro haters, man, put some respect on that passport bro name. It's not to be played with like that. Okay, it's not to be drug in the mud like that. Yeah, he said, not patrolling, but for surviving in the Philippines that long. The Philippines carries a lot of us. He said, great live, big bro Cal. I said, my credit score is 780, and I had it when I arrived to Thailand over 2 years ago. I don't do it for over here because it doesn't do me any good here. But I know we all eventually go home. And it's just something that, America's big on credit. The credit score is everything over there. And we all eventually go home. So if I want to go home and get a Mercedes, I can get it. Well, which I wouldn't do. I buy all my cars cash. I've been doing that for years. I mean, the last car I had was with a note, and it was my wife's car, was that convertible. It was in her name. She didn't want me to have it. She took it. I said, okay. I learned my lesson from that. Yeah, he says, although it may seem an inconvenience, I wish they did that here in the States. Maybe it would bring some accountability, especially in paternity cases. Yeah, but see, we think that we're offending women when we say, well, hold on, can I let's take a DNA before I sign that birth certificate. Because when you sign that birth certificate, man, I don't know, it's hard to beat that. Well, they're going to say everything's too expensive. Eventually, that's going to get on your nerves. Because you're never going to be able to go anywhere. You're never going to be able to buy anything. That may seem cute in the beginning. He says, my wife is always telling me it's too expensive. She teaches me not to waste money. Now she's teaching you to be cheap. Whatever you put out there in the universe, it comes back. I don't deny myself any creature comforts over here. If it's something I want, something from where I want to go, I'm going to do it. Because everything's expensive over here. Scott's Philippines Adventures. Just always remember that. Because sometimes, it just pisses me off. So, and I'll tell Merle, I was like, look, just be quiet. Every damn thing's expensive to you. Everything is expensive to them. Okay. Yeah, but I think he was actually born in Kentucky. Yeah. I think he was raised in Illinois or somewhere like that. Well, yeah, your wife's in America too now. Your wife's in America. Well, there's not going to be no tours, but if you go to any of these places, man, look, the Philippines is one of the top scuba diving places on the planet because of the coral reefs and all that, which they've got the most beautiful and sought after coral reefs on the planet. People come here, but people had to step in because it's so much over here that even the Filipinos didn't know what they had. They were still doing dynamite fishing, which was blowing up a lot of the coral reefs over here until environmentalists from around the world start coming in and say, hey, don't you know these are very rare that you got? You don't blow this up. And it's become a tourist attraction. So when you go to Panglao Bahal, when you go to Boracay, when you go to any of those places like that get a lot of tourists, Sticky Whore, you're going to see all types of diving spots set up. I mean, right next to each other. It's big business, okay? There's a lot of liability, I would guess, going into that, but it's big business. It's one of the top spots in the world. But people don't, because we don't come over here for scuba diving, they don't put any respect on the Philippines. They only talk about this, surface level stuff. So they'll say, oh, no, I'd rather go to Malaysia. Well, go to Malaysia. You ain't going to do no scuba diving, no coral reefs over there. And every 30, 60, 90 days, you got to be hijacking your ass out of there. When the Philippines gives you 3 years, man, whatever you're trying to accomplish over here, if you can't do it in 3 years, then shame on you. Imagine that. Like I said it before. That's not my argument. Oh, the Vietnam has more visitors than the Philippines. Okay, how's that affecting me? I'd rather be like the Philippines. I'd rather have 2 million people that's going to stay here for 3 years, paying all them fees, express lane fees, visa fees, and all that. And on top of the money you're spending to stay here, than have 10 million people running in and out. But yeah, y'all gotta, you don't know anything about the Philippines, okay? That's why you say stuff like that. But that's not my argument. I stopped that a long time ago. About which place is better and all that. Then you're wasting your time doing that. Just be happy. Oh wow, now that's pretty good. He said, hey, I learned something new on this trip. If you build your place, a store attached to it, even if you're not selling anything, just for the business license, then you can get your wife a legal firearm. Yeah, we're headed down a different trail now. You know what they say about the firearms in your house. If you're shot, more likely, if you have a gun in your house, and you know what do they say? What's that percentage that they say? We've never had a gun. I didn't grow up with guns. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, but there's a great percentage you're going to end up, if you get shot, it's going to be with that gun. But yeah, John, I would slow down on trying to start a business. Yeah, you're right. Which Curly is scared to death of them. He says, man, those stray dogs are nowhere to be found on the night of New Year's. And firecrackers wasn't no joke. That's right. Yeah, they know I'm rich. I'm just saying, you know, the problem is when you start doing that, uh, and you open that brick and mortar business like that, the bad guys are watching. It was a guy here when this is before John was born. Um, before John died. I'm sorry. We were eating at Malwani, and there was a foreigner over there, and you know, John, he never met a stranger, so he started talking to the guy, and he says, "Hey, you know, some way we got around to owning a business." And he said, "Yeah, I opened up a sorry store." He said, "But I had to close it down." And John was like, "Well, why?" He said, "Because the people came by and was wanting to extort him." I forgot what he said they wanted every month, but it was more than what he was earning. I heard the whole conversation. And see, that's the thing. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Um, but see, we don't know these people. We don't know DK Metcalf. When you're talking, at some point, man, you have to be able to restrain yourself. I mean, it ain't like the guy jumped in on the field and was trying to fight him or something. I don't even know the whole situation, but you know, you're looking at, you know, a 40 million, just throwing $40 million in the garbage, just like what they saying about Stefan Diggs, and like he's risking all that money. It's just crazy though. But let's keep going. Okay, this is the things we were talking about: jumping from the frying pan into the fire, doing the same thing in relationships overseas, and expecting different results is insanity. Everything you push back against over there and you're running from over there, you embrace over here. Okay, it says changes post marriage. Once you become live-ins, it says many men notice a shift in their partner's behavior after marriage, often citing a decrease in romantic attention or affection. It's going to happen. All you got is just a different woman over here with a different face. She's younger. But when you peel everything off, it's just a wolf in sheep's clothing. She's still a woman, and she's got woman problems. Okay, but this post-marriage thing that y'all talking about over there, talk to some of these guys over there over here instead of me, and you'll see. Okay, they'll start saying the same things that they say over there. Oh, that's all you want, you know, and everything like that. Because guys come over here, they say, well, you know, we want a woman. We like the women over there because they're more cooperative. Excuse me. Well, hell, they're all cooperative in the beginning. Just think back when you met your Western wife or girlfriend or live-in. And you're more cooperative too. They call that something, the honeymoon period. Okay? The thing is, you come over here and you date a woman 25, she's not going to stay 25 forever. She grows older. Okay? Then, okay, divorce concerns. You know, we always talk about, oh, taking half over there. Well, guess what? You're risking it all over here. You losing 100% here. It says fears about the risk and financial implications of divorce can create anxiety, especially concerning custody issues and property division. Just know right now that you're going to lose it all. Everything you invested over here is gone. So you running from 50% into 100%. You're jumping from the frying pan into the fire, guys. That's insanity. But you don't even stop to think, what am I jumping into? You don't know the country. You don't know the culture. You don't know the people. You just jump right in there. But of course, remember, we're putting up this Facebook persona. Everything's good. Everything's perfect. Don't get me wrong, man. When you come over here, the majority of the women over here that you end up with, they are good women, but they're still women, man. You know, and you will be as happy as a woman can make you. I mean, but she can't take you all the way to the finish line. That's your job. You got to do that. A woman can't make you happy, man. She can add to your happiness, but that's your responsibility. But we're looking for her to fix us, man. She can't fix herself. We treat these women over here like they got some type of special power. They don't. And if they did, they wouldn't use it on your old crusty ass. They would use it to get themselves out of the funky situations a lot of them find themselves in, guys. Wake up. You're jumping from the front. You're doing the same thing over here as you were doing at home. Thinking it's going to be different. It's not, man. Work on yourself. That's what this live stream is really all about. It's not about her. It's about you doing something different. Because happy people, they got all this worked out already. Remember, if you got a healthy dose of self-worth, you can see the world through clearer eyes, man. You can see things as they really are. You're not going to fall for the okie doke. You can see right through somebody's bullshit, man. And be like, okay, if you want to leave, go on and leave then. Because I see this ain't working out anyway. But if you got low self-esteem, you don't like yourself, you're looking for the outside validation to make things right, you're going to hold on to what you find over here, no matter what. There's men over here that I personally know who know that their women is running around on them. They don't care. They're low self-esteem. Okay, oh, I don't care. I just enjoy the sunshine over here and playing tennis all day and whatever it is. I'm not going to put up with that. Okay, you're going to put up with a lot of stuff that you ain't got no business putting up with. You know. And if you think you're running from unrealistic expectations over there, wait till you get over here. Where they know you're rich. They think you're rich. They think you can do shit that you ain't capable of doing. And then you got more money than you've ever had. Okay? And this comes from not knowing the country, the culture, or the people. You're going to be hit over the head with that, yeah, well, we expect you to take care, of the family, my mother and father. Or you made me quit my job, you got to give me something every month. We always talking about running away from money over there and come over here and just set ourselves on fire, really. That's the reason men go broke over here. It's no other reason. It's not bad business deals. It's not gambling. It's not using drugs. It's giving all our money away to women who don't deserve it. There's nothing wrong with taking care of your woman. Okay, if my woman is with me, she's going to live good. She's going to have a new life. But that doesn't mean I got to go bankrupt. But that's the reason why men go broke. They're not scammed. Hey, he said, I just sent a $10 super chat that didn't post. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it don't. They don't work out sometimes. Did they take it out of you? He said, well, hell, what do you think this is, Eugene? He says, and my girlfriend's not asking me to help her family. Well, who do you think her daughter and her cousin is? If it's not her family. That's her family. Okay? That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is we're saying that here's what I put in here. I said, what are the complaints men have about marriage and relationships in the West? And then I'm telling you that everything you push back against over at home, you embrace freely over here. Make that make sense to me. Only because she's younger. She's still a woman. She's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Meaning, when you take out that wolf's clothing, there's a woman under there. I mean, when you take off the sheep's clothing, there's a woman under there. And you got to be able to deal with a woman just like you dealing with her at home. She's going to have women problems. Okay? Yeah, they're definitely her family. I don't know. Everybody wants to try to be the exception. But that's not even what we're talking about. We're just saying that you were complaining about that over there. I bet you wasn't taking care of your girlfriend or wife's cousin over there. He said, yeah, I agree with you, but I'd like to add that the women over here that are submissive and traditional gives you the freedom to make yourself happy because you're not fighting against the grain. Well, I don't know about that. What's your definition of freedom? You ain't going nowhere without her. Try to go to Boracay without your woman and see what I'm talking about. Okay? And then, women are submissive over here too, to a point, but to an end is what I'm saying. They're submissive to an end. There's something they're wanting to do that. Don't think that she's bending over backwards and doing all that. You don't know anything about the culture to even know if, and the people over here or the country to even know if the woman that you got is traditional and what she's doing is traditional. She might just be doing that because of what you're doing for her. Have you ever thought about that? But we're not even talking about that. We're saying that everything we push back against at home, that's what the title is. We're doing the same thing in relationships over here and expecting different results. That's insanity. That's all I'm saying. But if you're going to have the same problems over here that you had over there because you're still dealing with women. They still bleed once a month. Okay? And a lot of times these relationships work against all odds because she needs you just as much as you need her. Yeah, he says, hey, you work your whole life to give a woman 8,000 miles away your money. Wouldn't you take free money from a sucker? But yeah, like I said though the other day on my video, man, these women who take that money, you better be real careful. They don't know who they taking this money from. You know, remember, there's no victims on these dating sites, and you know, because you can't say, oh, you didn't know. If you're on that dating site, you say you know and you understand everything that's involved in that. But when y'all start accepting that money from these men, you have no idea. Some of these men are maniacs, and they want a return on their investment when they get over here. Okay? And this is what I try to, I try to help both ways because, see, the women over here, they're not giving any game to their sisters. They're on your side because they know you're paying money. You're watching their videos. You're sending PayPal and buy me a coffee and all that. They're not making any kind of videos to help their sisters over here. See, you got to be real leery of that. You don't even think about that. Why would I want to be, when all my information, majority of it is to help men. I'm helping y'all. But every now and then I throw something out there for Filipinos. Like, you better know who you taking that money from because your sister not going to tell you. Okay? They lie so much. I've been over here. I know, man. That's why I don't watch the video. I don't watch them from the top one down to because they're lying. They're not giving you the whole story like they should be. Because it's just not in them to do it. You're not going to jump in the deep end of a swimming pool if you can't swim. It's against their culture to do that. They're not going to give you the nitty gritty on that. They're really ashamed to say that. So what they'll do is they'll start asking questions on the street now. Oh, do you like black men? Oh, do you shave down there and all that kind of stuff like that? Because they're not going to make videos like that. They're never going to tell you about what they're doing. It's always what other Filipinos are doing. They're not going to tell you what they do. Oh, the Filipinos take it here. Do they give oral? They're going to tell you that in a general way. They're not going to tell you, oh, yeah, this is what I like to do. Or this is what happened to me. They're never going to tell you that. He said, my wife's sister is on the dating sites, and she told me that the guy sent her 100,000. What do you mean, 100,000 pesos? Turned around and blocked her shortly afterwards. She asked me, why would the guy do that? I had no clue. Well, I don't know, but maybe he's going to show up for that 100,000. Because she's certainly going to spend it. Okay? He blocked her. Maybe she blocked him. Just let her know that 100,000 is coming due, Scott. Okay, and tell her don't be shocked. Okay? Don't be shocked when it comes due. I tell any woman, you better be careful. You think you're getting away with something now. Because the majority of times, if a guy's sending you money like that, he's coming over here. At 20, 1,000 pesos here, 1,000 there's nothing. When they start sending you money like that, trust me, I know. There's an Asian American guy who was hot for Maryland. He sent Maryland 50,000. He was coming in June or July. I forgot which one. But I made it. I came in May. But he was coming. Okay? But we're just talking about the stuff we complain about there, we embrace freely over here. Could you be the problem? Is what I'm asking. More than likely, we're the problem. But we want to put it on the Western women over there, right? Well, if it's the Western women, then why you come east and embrace the things you're running from the West? If that's the culture and everything, the women in the West is the problem, why come over here and do the same thing? Wouldn't you consider that crazy? Wouldn't you consider that insanity? Of course you did. He said, finish the story. He blocked her, didn't cancel the transaction, or she didn't get it. No, she got it. You know, um, it's just crazy to me. You got to have low self-esteem to send that kind of money. I promise you, I never sent more than 10,000, and that's a lot of money. Okay, that's a lot of money. But you don't know what you don't know. And then when you try to share the information to people, they'll say, uh, you did it. Well, that's why I'm telling you. So you don't have to do it. Yeah, they're sending thousands. Altogether, we're sending millions over here. Uh, Altogether. I'd hate to see what the final figure is, Thomas, of what we're sending over here. I guarantee you we're sending more. OFWs are looked at as heroes over here, and rightfully so. With all the sacrifices they make, I mean, they literally, sacrifice themselves, man, so that their families can have a better living. And they represent about 10% of the GDP. I guarantee you we're sending more than them. And you don't hear anything about us but bad stuff. I guarantee you we're sending more. You're damn right it's a lot of money. But it ain't 50,000. No, 50,000 pesos. You know. And this was to a woman I'd already blown her back out. It's not like she wasn't my wife. Yeah, they're heroes, OFWs, overseas Filipino workers. And rightfully so. You know, they considered heroes over here, man. They're held in high esteem over here. You don't say anything bad against them, and then once you realize all that they do, you wouldn't even think to do that. Hey, what's up, Chase? But we're sending more money than they are. But because we don't make the sacrifice that they make, we don't get any credit. And guys, man, we're sending the bag over here, man. We are sending the bag over here. And complaining, because that's what it says. One of the things is the financial pressures. And then the divorce concerns. We're afraid of losing 50%. You're going to lose it all here, 100%. If anything happens between me and Maryland, everything I invested over here, it's gone. Okay? Because they're going to be mad at you. They're going to cut you off. Like he said, the man blocked her. They're going to block you. You're not even going to be able to get in contact with her to even know what's going on. Okay, but it's gone. Everything, because we're all under the sugar contract here. Remember that. And if you don't want to find yourself in that situation, then don't sign the sugar contract. Don't. Everything's in her name. And one of the richest men in the Philippines gave me that information. He said, Cal, there's ways that foreigners can buy land without the sugar contract. I was like, well, what's the sugar contract? He said, putting everything in the woman's name. And that's what we do. The motorcycle, the house, the lot, everything is in Maryland's name. So if we broke up, but remember, I didn't build this house for that. I built the house because I got a daughter here. But it doesn't matter. It's 100% gone. Now, if you got a woman who, if y'all split amicably, which I hardly see that happening over here, you got a good one. If she decides, well, I'm just going to sell the house and split the money with you, they're going to be mad at you. You ain't getting nothing. Okay? You're not getting nothing back. But we complain over there because you'll say, well, it's cheaper to lose everything over here. No, it's not. See how stupid that sounds? You're tricking over there just costs less. No, it don't cost you more over here. This is what people don't understand. it costs more to date a woman over here than it does at home, because more than likely the woman you're dating at home, if you got any kind of sense, she's probably got a job, probably earns more money than you. When you come over here, you're paying for everything every day, all the time. Okay, you better be in love or lust or something to even justify that. Okay, because that's a harsh truth there, but we don't want to talk about it. See, the Filipino bloggers, they don't talk about that. They don't tell you what you're really going to do over here. Okay, they're the ones who, they'll say something, if you just look at their titles, they're not telling you anything new. They've got all kinds of information I don't have and no other foreign blogger has, other than our experience, but they'll never share it with you. They'll never share it with you. They're not going to help you. Yeah, but you don't want the kind of help that the men on my channel are offering. She says, I hope, Sarah, I'm also one of them. Please help me. I'm a poor single mother with 3 children. Just send me well, actually, what you're going to do, I'm spinning the wheel tonight. Subscribe to my channel, screenshot that, and send it to my Sunshine Shoulders messenger, and I'll put you on the wheel. See, that way you're going to get some help without anybody expecting anything in return. You don't want the kind of help that they're offering here, okay? He said, sending money to a woman over 8,000 miles who you never met in person almost never works out. Boots on the ground and meeting in person sounds more logical. Well, it still don't work out. It still doesn't work out. You don't know her any more in person than you do online. But telling people that, you know how long we've been telling people this right here? There's somebody right now hitting the send button now. We're just not going to listen to that because we suffer from low self-esteem. If you're not thirsty, if you're not desperate, you're suffering from low self-esteem. The majority of men who get involved in relationships over here do. You're unhappy with something over there. So you come all this way to do it. And then you embrace everything that you don't like about at home. Something's wrong. You got to address that. It's something wrong with you. And ain't no woman going to be able to fix that. I don't understand this one. He said, what happens when a child turns 25? Do the women try to bump the men out of their life? I don't know. By that time, you should be bonded with your children. I'm saying that just my experience, okay? And then what I'm seeing, after a while, though, time heals a lot of that stuff. Because me and my son's mother, we chat all the time. I mean, just through Messenger, because she keeps me updated on his school, his health, and everything like that. But when we broke up, man, she wouldn't let me see him. If I did see him, I had to go up there. If I took him to the mall, I had to take the whole family with me. I could not take him anywhere by myself. She was angry with me, and that was away for a long time. But then time heals that stuff. Certainly, when she figured out, I'm not this bad guy she thought I was. Because when you do that CRBA, see, that tells them a whole lot. Because that's one thing that they're afraid of. That they're going to have a baby by a foreigner, and the foreigner's going to disappear and leave the baby over here. When you do that CRBA, it just opens up a whole new world for them. See, by me doing that, she was able to come over and get the, I don't know what kind of visa it was that she got for her son. Her other son, full Filipino. But she was able to do that and then take them both back to America. But in the beginning, no, they cut your ass off. Okay, it's going to be a long time. I think, you know, my Filipino wife, I believe we don't communicate as much as because of that man she's with. He's super jealous. She told me that out of her mouth. You know, when, okay, my son had stayed a few days with me when I went back to the United States. And when she came and got him, it was like she saw a ghost. He was walking up to because she was up there talking to my daughter, because we all used to live together. And the minute I come out of the back, she shot out of that house. It's like she saw a ghost. And she was like, no, he's super jealous and probably reading her, emails and everything. So I don't want her to have any problems with him. But in the beginning, yeah, they're mad. You don't have a leg to stand on, guys, is what I'm trying to tell you. When it comes to financial pressures, but we don't know enough about the situation we're stepping into. We just see a younger woman. That's all. That's all. You're doing all of that just for a younger woman, man. That's crazy, man. It's not the woman, it's you. There's something wrong with you. Hey, he says, I'm not trying to lose man's whether in the U.S. or the PH. I prefer it in my name. Or can you put it in your child's name if they have Filipino? Well, they still, I don't know if it's going to be legally binding because, now remember, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to be on here practicing Filipino law without a license. But I can say that if they're a minor, it's not going to mean anything. But just knowing that, maybe you'll think twice. Or if you do got a child, it's the noble thing to do, okay? I don't want my child to live good in the squatters area or to live good in a province somewhere. And I'm not talking down on provinces or anything because people live good. All provinces aren't the same. All squatters areas aren't the same. Squatter areas just means you don't own the land. Down in Zamboanga, in that squatter area I was living, people got really nice houses. But, the government can come in at any time and tear it down. But I'm just saying, so why not spend, 10, 15, 20,000 and build your child a house? Why not do that? Okay, and then be done with it and say, okay, no matter what happens, okay, my daughter's going to have a place to stay. And even if Marilyn wants to sell this house, she's going to, benefit from the sale some kind of way. That's what you do. But just knowing that you're going to lose it all over here should make you stop and think. All you got to do is go on YouTube, man, and you see the just unbelievable houses that these guys are building. And you have to say to yourself, because they're not giving you all the facts, you got to say there has to be something he's doing to protect himself. I was watching a video yesterday because one guy, that's all he does is go around Dumageddon and different places to these real expensive houses that these foreigners build. And this one guy, he was a Norwegian, married to a Filipina, and he spent 65 million pesos on their, compound. And I'm thinking, it's over $1 million. And I'm saying, surely he done something to protect himself, but a lot of times we don't. That sugar contract is a bad boy, man. Love and lust will make you do some crazy stuff, man. What's that song, remember? The things we do for love. We do some crazy stuff over here in the name of love that you would never do at home, that you swore you weren't going to do at home. You come over here and do it. That's insanity. Hey, brother, man, thanks for that super chat. He said, lost me in searching in a world getting colder. That's a cold line, man. I don't know. For the everyday man that's carrying boulders. Imagine that one. The weight that we're carrying. It's all on you over there. People don't have no sympathy for you, man. He wrote a hell of a lyrics to that song. Yeah, man, he passed away a few weeks ago. He said, rest in peace to David Campbell. Yeah. Um, we've lost so many, man. You know, that's the thing about growing old. You're going to see a lot of people you know and all your family, friends, associates, people you're familiar with. They're going to die. So, you know, people want to live to be 100. Are you willing to deal with that emotional pain of living to be 100? You're going to watch all kinds of people die, man. The closest people to you, the people that you love the most. Well, this is just a consular report of birth abroad. It just says that, okay, as a U.S. citizen, you were born outside the United States, but you were born to, you know, U.S. citizens. But they don't just automatically give it to you. You have to apply for it. You got to prove parentage and everything like that. But it's very important. It just gives them some options, man. You know, if you live in a place like the Philippines, man, and you see that, you know, that's one good thing about traveling. It gives you that empathy and compassion because you see the struggles of people up close that, you know, that you're not used to seeing at home. So you come over here and you see that and you say, okay, well, and you see little kids out here, like certainly in places like Manila and Cebu, they're wandering the streets on their own. Okay, you got to see this, man, to feel it. What I'm saying, and you think, and you to think to yourself that do you even want to take that risk? Okay, because I wish my son's mother was on here. She'll tell you I'm not lying. She was about, I think she was like 5 or 6 months pregnant. Matter of fact, I think we were in a taxi coming from the airport. We just come back from Boracay. Very first time I went to Boracay, September 2010. She had the baby in November. Well, anyway, it was a little bitty black guy, a little bitty black boy. He couldn't have been no more than about anywhere from 6 to 8 years old. He was black, but he had 2 other Filipinos. They went in that median. We were going past SM City in Cebu. And he's standing there, and we stopped right in front of him. And, you know, I was like, wow, you know. And I promised her, I said, you know, I promise you, I'm not going to leave my child like that over here. You know, I'm going to do the right thing by my son. We already knew it was going to be a son. And every time I had a child over here, I did the same thing. That's always in my mind. And then, you know, you meet people like Gail, who's intelligent, man. She's a good woman, man. Her father left her over here, you know, to struggle. It's a struggle over here, man. It's a struggle. You know, and these women didn't do anything other than, you know, the wheel of life stopped and let them off here. That wheel of life, man, it ain't no joke. It doesn't discriminate. He said, speaking of that song, Cal, where can I find it? It's on my channel. Just go and put, it's about 4 months old, I guess. Put some respect on his name. Sunshine Shoulders is the name of it. Yeah, you know, and I just said, I'm not going to do it, man. You see girls like Gail. Gail said, I don't want, the man wouldn't even have to pay no child support, guys. You know, because Gail's not even a U.S. citizen. By the time she becomes a U.S. citizen, they can't go all the way back there. She's already an adult. He didn't want to do it, man. We found his sorry ass. You know, because people really felt Gail's struggle, man. They felt her, man. I had a guy who worked in the military industrial complex. We gave him the information. He found that cocksucker. And you know the first thing he said? Because not only that, but it was a private investigator that was watching the video too that contacted me. He's the one that did the groundwork and found him. He said, Cal, the first thing he asked me was, how did we find him? He didn't say, how's my daughter, how's my grandkids? And then he lied. He said, do the DNA, which we did. if it comes back, I'll do my part. He lied. He didn't do his part. We did the DNA. Somebody had donated some DNA kits. I got a video of Gail doing the DNA test in my house. Not this house, but when we lived on Margarita Village, we sent it out and it came back. Just like it did for Booby. It came back for Gail. But we did Ancestry, so it came back matching 2 of his first cousins and 2 of his second cousins. Okay? But he didn't do his part. You know, so you don't want to do that, man. You know, if you got any kind of heart. And, you know, some guys, they come over here. They really don't even know. They come over here to the Philippines one time. They might go to Walking Street or somewhere like that and end up getting the girl pregnant and never see the girl again. And then, because there's a channel that's Leia and somebody. That's all they do is find these, these, they call them Almarasians up in Luzon, and reunite them if the father is still alive. And sometimes, you know, he's able to go ahead and get the U.S. Citizenship, but it's a different process you have to take. I'm almost sure you have to do the DNA with them. But up into 18, you really don't have to do the DNA if you have all the ducks in a row. But there's a man, it's a heartwarming story. It's on Willie Revelia, man. It's called Wow Wow Wee. Put Wow Wow Wee in the YouTube search and put Black Man United with His Family. Oh man, it'll bring you to tears. I can't even watch it today. It'll make you cry. So, you know, on Wow Wow Wee, it was a real popular show, Willie Revelia, man. Well, anyway, he lets the contestants sing. And this black guy, he looked black, but he was, you know, he was raised here in the Philippines. He was singing a song by Brad McKnight. I mean, he can really sing, right? And then Willie started asking him questions about his father, man. He started crying. He was like, I just want to meet my father, you know. I've never seen him before and all that. So a Filipino watching in Seattle, Washington, you know, stepped in and helped him, man, and found his father, man, got his U.S. citizenship. The guy looked just like his father. Exactly like his father, man. But the father didn't even know he had a son over here. This guy was a good guy that they ended up finding. And, man, you should see when they found, I look at the hairs on my arm, man. They show it. They show him when he goes to New Jersey and he's got some, you know, he's got some balloons. He's going to meet this family standing on the porch, man. And he walks up, man, he sees his father and just breaks down crying, man. It is a cold, cold video, man. It's one of the best I've ever seen. But that's what goes on over here, man. So you have kids, man. Just do the right thing, man. We worry about the wrong stuff, man. That was, man, this show right here. If I watched it today, I love the chime. Oh, you didn't watch that episode. Yeah, but Wow Wow Wee, I would cry now. I would cry now, man. And now what he eventually did was he brought his wife and kids to America. They're all in America now. He's got a job and everything because they did like some follow-ups to him. And this is all we were asking the man to do for Gail. Gail's got a college degree, man. Gail ain't no joke over here, man. All she needs is that little nudge. Imagine if you can make it over here, you can make it in America. And that's all she said. She said, I just want to bring my life full circle. I just want to meet my father. You know, and she was telling about, and Gail's story will make you cry. About all the bullying and, you know, she went through over here. And, you know, this is the reason why I'm so tight with my kids, man. There's only certain things that I can tell them that's going to make sense to them. By them seeing me and knowing, okay, that's my father, it brings everything full circle. You know, they're proud of who they are. You know, they're not, you know, even though They get bullied over here, man. And I just can imagine if the father's not there. If the father's there, it's different. Okay, because Miss Philippines, the black lady, not this past Miss Universe, but the prior, 2024, she was the very first black Miss Philippines. And she told her story, same thing, bullying. The father wasn't there, but she was raised by a man here. But it didn't matter. And then there was actually like 3 black Filipinas who were competing for that Miss Filipina crown to represent the Philippines in the Miss Universe. And they all had the same story of being bullied. Okay? And the father wasn't there. Yeah, Curly's out there. Yeah, but that's a tearjerker of all tearjerkers right here. Okay? Yeah, Robert. He says, I met Leah and Blair here in Subic. They are good people. Our kids go to school together. It's kind of strange. They reached out to me before. I was going to help them. They wanted me to interview them, right? And so they could, ask for some help on my channel with their, with their DNA kits. But something turned me off about them. They wanted to vet me first. I'm like, what? You asking me to come on my channel? Yeah, we want to meet you first and make sure you're this and that. I was like, it's okay. That just kind of turned me off. I was like, I know y'all doing good and okay, but I didn't like it, man. I didn't like that. I don't have anything against them. But you asked me, because I did the Gale thing long before they started doing their stuff. But when they said, oh yeah, we want to vet you, we want to, before, we want to meet you to make sure you meet certain criteria and you who we think you are and all that stuff. I'm like, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Good luck. Yeah, he said, I'm shocked by how many Blazers are bullied. I'm not really. I'm not, because kids are like that. Kids are like that. Remember when I interviewed Jenna Lynn that used to go with Kevin, Too Much Time on My Hands? She told the same story. That they would throw rocks at her and she'd come home from school crying every day, and it just touches you, man, when you say to yourself, man, I can't leave my kids over here to deal with that by themselves. That way if they come home, I'm there and I can reassure them. I can comfort them. But when you don't have nobody there, you just got to put up with that stuff. And it changes them. It changes them. It kind of makes her feel ashamed. She said it. She was ashamed of her hair, so she went and got a rebond, and her mother got mad at her. Yeah, I thought it was unjust scrutiny. You're asking me because I've got traction. So you're asking, hey, can we come on your channel and ask for help? Sure. I agree with I like what y'all doing. Yeah, but we got to meet you first. Huh? Where you going to meet me? You want me to come all the way there? You want to meet me? Come on, man. Well, eventually I think she will, because, kids are just cruel anyway. And plus, Booby's the smartest in her class. So there's going to be somebody that's going to be jealous at one point. And, but she's not going to have to deal with it long, because I'm going to step in. I'll go to the parents. I'll go to the school. But if you don't have nobody to go to the parents and go to the school, it's going to keep happening. If push comes to shove, I'll take her to America. I mean, it couldn't be, at least, that's one of the reasons why I believe my son that was born up in those mountains in Cebu, why he's thriving so much in America. Because he's finally being around people like him. You know, because he was popular, man, but, you know, I went to visit him one time and we were walking back and I stopped at this little sorry store up in the mountains to get a Coke. I bought me a Coke, him a Coke, and his grandmother a Coke. They were walking me to catch the hubba as we go down. And the little old lady, this lady was old. She came, you know, while, you know, she's putting it in the bag and stuff. She asked the mother, is that the Negro's father? And I was like, it made me so mad. And I was like, is that what you think that my son's got a name, is what I was thinking. And it just broke my heart to think I got to go down this hill and leave him up here for that. Even though he wasn't, you know, treated bad, you know, his family loves him. I'm just saying that just did something to me. I don't know, man. But it's just little stuff like that. You know, overall, you know, people really don't care once you get a certain age, but little kids do that stuff anyway. You know, they always, you know, I don't like bullies. I hate bullies. Don't matter, even to this day, man, because I was bullied. All you got to do is stand up to them like I did. They're cowards. They'll become your best friend. But the more you run from them and let them be bullies, they're going to keep bullying you. You know, that's guys like Sick Grandpa and stuff. He's just a bully, man. Once somebody punch him in his nose, he'll stop all that stuff because he ain't tough. You know, them guys. They'll say all that stuff, cyberbullying and all that. They're not going to do anything they see you in person. I wish one of them would run up on me. Any of them. All them haters that be making videos about me. I've been here all them years. I ain't seen none of them. They know where I am. I be in Cebu, Manila, Dumaguete, all around. I'm sure they see me. They better not run up on me. It'd be the last time they run up on somebody. And I'm not a tough guy. But I do not like bullies. Yeah, you're right about this. This is a fact. He said, Big Brother Cal, most black men take care of their kids. I have 2 daughters that I paid for both college tuitions. I'm proud of that. Yeah, it's just the narratives out there, guys, you know, that we have to continue to fight against. Don't throw your hands up and say, oh, there's nothing we can do about it, because it's not true, man, you know, and it's beating people's heads. Yeah, absolutely. He said, Cal, we need to stay out of the Filipino jails. The man, I don't think I know they've gotten quiet on that Vitali case. And, you know, you see how they running on and on and on about Floyd, right? They done gave Vitali a break. Now, they made some videos about him in the beginning, but now you ain't heard from him, have you? He crashed out. But I Love LaChine don't have to pay for what Vitali did. I got to pay for what Floyd did. I Love LaChine can come over here and do whatever he wants. They're not going to call him a passport bro. They're going to roll out the red carpet for him. They're not going to make videos about him. They're not going to compare him to Vitali. But me, I'm compared to Floyd. Okay, I'm a degenerate black man traveling for sex. I don't mean any good. When you see me go the other way, let them tell it. But thank y'all so much, man. I got to get off here. I get hungry. But yeah, it's funny, right? I want y'all to go back and watch this video because I'm going to go back through these real quick to show you how crazy it is that everything y'all say y'all don't like about Western women, you embrace freely over here in the Philippines. The gender roles and expectations. It says many men feel constrained by traditional gender roles that expect them to be the primary breadwinners and protectors. That's what you do over here. The minute you move in, you're the primary breadwinner, guys. Okay, you're responsible for her. Okay, if she gets sick, you sick. If we sick, remember what Malcolm X said? about the uh, the house slave. When master sick, mean we sick. When she gets sick, we sick. Okay, communication issues. It says some men feel that their partners over there in the West don't listen to them or understand their needs. You're going to get that times 100 over here. She's half your age. You have nothing in common. You don't even speak the same language. And she don't think you know nothing. Okay? Financial pressures. The financial demands of marriage, including costs related to weddings, housing, raising children, can create stress. Raising families. You're paying for everything every day, all the time, 24/7. It never stops. But you complain about financial pressures over there. Loss of independence. You walk right into a headlock over here. Okay, it says, yeah, we complain about losing our personal freedom over there and our autonomy. Well, when you come over here, remember it's we. There ain't no you anymore. She gonna change. Once she starts living good, once she gets what she's after. Okay, because it says that men notice a shift in their partner's behavior after marriage or serious commitment or live-in, often citing a decrease in romantic attention or affection. Trust me on that one, okay? Divorce concerns. We're talking about the fears about the risk of losing half over in America when you're going to lose 100% over here, guys. 100%. That sugar contract, okay, does not take any prisoners. It's very few ways you can get out from underneath that. When you put everything in her name, it's in her name. It means you own absolutely nothing. Now, can you buy your motorcycle? Probably. But if you're talking about coming over here, you know, you're running from 50% to 100% over here. That's crazy, right? But it's all right here. But that's why you're responsible for your happiness, not some woman. This vlog, this live stream was really about us getting better, being stronger, being happier, enjoying that personal freedom that we work for. Not looking for something outside of us to fix us, whether it's a woman over here or in Brazil or whatever. It's not going to happen, guys. That's our responsibility. She doesn't have any special powers, and if she did, she wouldn't use them on you. She would use them on herself to get out of the funky situation a lot of them find themselves into. Okay? It's just a fact, man. You know thyself is what it says. And then this last thing I'm going to tell you, throw all them lists away, all them New Year's resolutions away. You got a laundry list of stuff you trying to improve. Do it one step at a time. Put the one thing up there that you really want. Put the top two up there. Which one gets your attention? That goes number one. Then put everything you got back of that. Start where you are with what you have. Knowing it's enough, guys. It's going to happen. That's why I'm sitting here right now. I walked out of the crack house into the penthouse of life. I've never looked back. That was almost 20 in May of this year. It'll be 28 years. Because I made that my primary purpose to stop drinking and getting high. I didn't say, I'm going to stop smoking cigarettes. I'm going to stop going to the casino. I'm going to stop, tricking. I didn't say all of that. I said my primary purpose was to stop drinking and getting high. Got that out of the way. Then I went down to the next and the next and next. Okay, and that's what we got to do. Take control of your life, man. We got to raise up our self-esteem. It's scraping the ground. When you sending money 8,000 miles away to a woman to make you feel better, you got problems. You got problems. She don't. And to the women over here, or in Brazil, Colombia, wherever, Thailand, and you accepting that money, you better know that he's expecting a return on his investment. So be careful who you accepting money from, because a lot of these guys are maniacs. They're going to show up over here, and all hell's not going to be able to hold them back. He's going to want to blow your back out and all other crazy stuff that Western men want to do. Are you willing to pay that price? If you don't have a problem, then keep taking that money. But it comes with a cost. Take care.